More than 250,000 European citizens have actually applied to settle here in the East Midlands since Brexit. Now, the government's encouraging others to register before the end of June so that they don't lose their right to live and work here. But advice groups fear that there are those that could slip through the net. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Justine is a graphic designer. She came to Nottinghamshire on a Polish passport when she was 15 years old. Free movement allowed her to live and work here, but Brexit has changed all that. Now she's had to apply to stay.
It was a little bit unsettling. You know, you're applying for something and you're like, oh, what if I get rejected? Like I've lived here like my whole adult life, and this is more of a home than it is back in Poland. And I think I do feel more British. I think my way of thinking and sentiment is more British. I kind of almost like forget sometimes that I'm Polish.
Justine is one of 276,000 people who've applied for settlement across the government's East Midlands region. 58% now have settled status. They can stay here permanently. Most of the others have pre-settled status. They'll need to apply again when they can prove they've been here 5 years. Over 71,000 Polish citizens have applied to settle in the East Midlands, along with almost 54,000 people with Romanian passports, almost 27,000 more who are Portuguese nationals, and smaller numbers from countries all over Europe. It's the first detailed picture of the long-term impact of free movement.
The government says European citizens already here are an integral part of our society, and settlement is delivering on its promise to them after Brexit. They can apply using a simple app, but time's running out. The deadline is June the 30th.
And that's worrying advisors here in Derbyshire.
I had a lady who's in her 80s who has lived in the UK since the 1960s, and she was completely unaware that she may need to apply to this scheme. And so it's something we have great concerns about. For someone who may struggle with using a computer or may have language difficulties, it can pose many challenges, and so you are at risk of losing your right to live in the UK.
The pandemic's raising concerns too, because some migrant workers move back and forth, and as work's dried up and borders have closed, they could lose their pre-settled status. That's because they need to return here within a 6-month limit.
I hope that they will come back here on time, because otherwise we will have people from whom their legal status will be taken away and they will become illegal migrants without access to education, healthcare, after just being completely legal.
And while some EU nationals like Maggie have chosen to move back permanently, an MP who's campaigned for settlement says the scheme is broadly working, but he wants the government to be more flexible about the deadline.
You know, if somebody is tragically suffering from Alzheimer's disease and has no family and don't know that they have to apply for that particular status, then that's clearly a reasonable excuse. We cannot have a situation where UK citizens based in the EU or EU nationals based in the East Midlands or elsewhere lose their rights.
But it was a simple process for Justina to confirm her settled status back in Nottingham. That has secured her future here.
Jeremy's here with me now. I mean, I guess there are going to be people who are going to say, well, that was the whole point of Brexit, cutting immigration.
Yeah, that's a really important point. And Brexit has actually achieved that, because there's now no automatic right to move here from continental Europe. A clear response to concerns about pressures on things from school places to wages. At the same time, though, Anne, the government always gave a commitment to people who've settled here that they could stay. And of course, you often hear employers argue that these people are absolutely crucial for everything from food production to keeping the NHS running.
I'm going to talk about that. Well, you know, whereabouts do these people actually live?
Well, these latest settlement numbers actually paint quite a mixed picture. We can show you here, these are the 5 districts with the largest numbers of European citizens. Now look at Leicester there, right at the top, over 63,000 settlement applications. That's actually more than the numbers in Derby and Nottingham combined. And when you dig deeper, there are actually some really interesting reasons for that. And we're going to be looking at those reasons on tomorrow night's programme.
OK, look forward to that. Thanks very much indeed, Jeremy.